Hi BookTube. I've had a lot of caffeine and I have a lot of time right now, and so I thought I'd film some tag videos. And so what I did was I opened up my subscription page and just searched tag and came up with the first 6 or 7 tags that popped up. And so this one I found on the channel Books I'm Not Reading, and the tag is the reread tag. So yes. Question 1. Let's assume you do reread if you're doing this tag. Okay, so where do you sit on the rereading scale from almost never to all the time? I am probably somewhere in the middle. I've been rereading a lot more recently, and so I'd say I'd probably in the middle, more towards probably almost never than to all the time. Number 2, has that changed over your reading life? Yes, I used to never really reread. There was 1 or 2 books that I would reread quite often, but other than that, a book would be read once, stuck back on the shelf, and that was that. Yeah, it definitely has changed. I've definitely been more into rereading. One thing that spurred that on, actually, is I'll show you a copy of this. This is The King of Ease by Paul and Karen Anderson, and I recently reread the first book in this collected volume, and that's because I wanted to go through and tag passages and stuff. And so that's one thing that's prompting me to reread a lot of my favorite books, or books that I said were my favorite even though I've only read them once, is to go through and tag and annotate them. So yeah, definitely been rereading a lot more lately. Number 3, when do you reread? Maybe immediately after finishing a book, or not till years later, or when the mood strikes. Generally rereading happens years later, and sometimes it happens much sooner. So for example, last year I read The Rise and Fall of the Dinosaurs, and this year I don't even think a full year has passed. or maybe, yes, maybe been almost exactly a year. And I've reread it. So I read it last year on audiobook, and I read it this year in physical format. But most times it's been years. Like with, this book's right here. So the King of Ease series, with this, it has probably been like 5 years since I first picked this up. So coming to it later, that's how long it's been. 4, why do you reread books? Well, I talked about going through favorite books and wanting to tag them. Another book I am rereading right now is Brothers Karamazov, and that book was already tagged the first time I read it and annotated the first time I read it, and now it's my I say it's my second and a half time through, because I went through after I first read it and redid annotations and stuff and kind of reread bits, but this is my first full reread of Brothers Karamazov, and I'm doing that because I want to take a closer look. I'm saying I want to write essays on it. They're not going to be like, you know, university level essays. It's more going to be like notes that would work into an essay so that I can make videos on it, if that makes sense. So I'm rereading with the purpose of like analyzing it from a different perspective. And sometimes it's just for enjoyment, like, you know, or you're in a reading slump or something and you know that you're going to enjoy this book, so you pick it up. How do you reread? Faster, slower, or just the best bits? I think I actually probably read slower because I'm looking for more. I know with, I'm just going to pull off the top one here. I don't want to pull up the first one. With the Wheel of Time series, I've very slowly rereading it. I'm rereading it slower because I want to pick up on a lot of the things, a lot of the foreshadowing and stuff. This is a really bad cover. Yeah, so most cases I read slower because I'm looking at it for more analysis. I'm just gonna set it down here. Who or what do you reread more specifically? Which authors or genres or individual books? Books that I would consider my favorite that I haven't touched in a long time. So like The King of Ease, I'm rethinking reading Dubliners. I haven't read that since 2008, and I can't believe it's been 12 years. But I'm just like thinking about it and thinking, I really want to revisit those stories. Yeah, so it's more just like books that I would consider my favorite that I want to reread. Books I know I'm going to enjoy. Number 7, is there a book you found better when you reread it? I guess so, but not by too much. Like I won't reread a book that I disliked. So like the margin for liking it better is not very big. So I will enjoy a book more the more that I can get my hands into it and delve into it and analyze it and all that kind of stuff. But me going from like not liking it to liking it is not going to happen because I won't read a book I didn't like. Number 8, and one that was worse. So a book that you found that was worse after you reread it. I can tell you that there's a book I'm afraid to reread. I know a lot of people don't want to talk about Harry Potter, but I'm afraid going back and rereading Harry Potter, I'll discover that I won't like it. So I want to just keep it in that kind of nostalgic zone and just keep it there and not touch it again, I think. Because I think going back I won't like it again. And that has nothing, well, it has some stuff now to do with J.K. Rowling, but I felt about that before we discovered what a horrible person she was. I just felt like the writing wasn't there for me anymore. And last question, which one book have you reread the most times? And we just talked about Harry Potter, and that would be Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, which I reread like twice, and then I reread it each time a new book came out. So I was one of those people who hopped on the train early, not bragging, just saying like I was there for like midnight releases for all the books. When that became a thing, I think it was by book 4, midnight releases were a big thing. So I reread the book each time leading up to that. So 8, 9 times I reread the first book. So that's been the book I've reread the most. Other than that, it would be Lord of the Flies and Brave New World. So that's it. And this tag was created by Roz at Scally Dandling about the books. Yeah, so I'll link those videos down below. Thank you for watching.